Welcome back to the 2+2 Pokercast. Mike and Adam here with you on location at the 44th Annual World Series of Poker. We are at our makeshift Vegas studios at the Palms Place, where we always reside. And Adam, over the years, we've had sports stars on the program: Boomer Wells, Oral Hershiser, a lot of guys who are sports heroes of ours that love to play the game. But this one is special for us, for people who have been listening to this show over the last 8 years or so. They know we're massive hockey fans, and it's a treat for us to bring in one of the greats of the game, gold medal, Olympic champion, World Championships, World Cup, and Stanley Cup finalist. At one time, the highest drafted goalie in NHL history and a perennial all-star. Of course, we're talking about Roberto Luongo. More important than any of those stats, he is 100% in cashes in the World Series of Poker main
so
event.
Far, yeah,
and,
he's 1 for 1.
You know how that
it's better than my save percentage.
how that isn't in the first paragraph of your Wikipedia,
well,
I don't know, Roberto.
Especially if I cash again this year, then it has to be.
It would be ridiculous.
No kidding. Well, we'll talk about that for sure. So now, before we get going, you don't have to go to the bathroom or anything. You're good.
I'm good for now. Just
you're fine.
Don't give me any coffee. That's all.
Excellent. Because it's funny because I saw you running. You were late. For those people who've never been to the World Series of Poker, there's 3 gigantic ballrooms, and Roberto and I were in the same kind of quadrant yesterday for day one, and I saw you running in late from the dinner break. You were running back to, and I was just howling to myself.
Well, there's a story.
Okay.
I came in on time. I sat down, but then I had to get back up and go.
Similar to overtime many years ago. Yeah.
I was like, I thought I could do it, and then once I sat down, I was like, oh, man. So I waited for my blinds to pass, and then boom.
God.
I only missed 2 hands. It's pretty good. No?
Oh, that's better than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't wait for your blinds. You can't wait for the Ehrhoff to skate it out of the zone and then just run. That's funny. For those that don't know your involvement in the game beyond last year's appearance at the World Series, talk about your history with poker. How long you've been playing, and what got you to this level of competition?
Yeah. Well, I always loved playing cards, and I really got into Texas Hold'em during the last lockout. It was 7 or 8 years ago, I think. A lot of free time on my hands, so. That was a time when Moneymaker came out and all those the big poker boom.
Yeah.
So I started playing online during the lockout, but just play money because I never trusted the websites and all that stuff. So after a while, I got a little bit bored playing play money. So I just gave it a try. I don't remember the site. I think it was Pacific Poker or something like that. And you know what? I really loved it, and it just gives you a little bit more adrenaline. I wasn't playing for huge amounts, I was like $20 or whatever, but just the fact that there was a little bit of
win something.
Exactly, and I loved it. So when I love something, I'm all in on it, and I started reading books, and I read about 10 to 12 books on it, and played a lot, and played with my friends at their house, and just started, from there, and just gradually got bigger and bigger.
Books, which ones did you read? Do you remember? Do you still read books? Training sites, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, the one book I didn't read that I'm a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I could still read if I want to. Is the Doyle Brunson Super System? I never read that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I never read it.
That's the one almost everybody starts
exactly,
with, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But I never read it. You know why? It was so big. I was like, oh man, I just can't do the whole.
It's like that's a month.
Yeah, exactly. So I read the Helmuth book, the Negreanu book. Harrington had a few books.
Yeah.
So I read a bunch of those, and there's a bunch of tournament books also that I read because that's what I enjoy playing tournaments. I'm not really a cash player. I'm just more of a tournament kind of guy, kind of outlasting the competition type of thing.
You mentioned Harrington; those guys, these are stars of the poker world. I'm wondering, when you see. By the way, Harrington was sitting with me in the gold medal game in row 3. Yeah,
wow.
He was sitting right there. But when you see these guys, are you starstruck at all? I mean, when you run into these guys, and is it kind of weird? Like maybe they'll know who I am, maybe they won't.
I am starstruck.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but yeah, for sure. You see them on TV all the time, and you want to be as good as they are,
Sure.
and all that kind of stuff. So I do know a couple of them, like Negreanu. I've met a few times, Gavin Smith, and those guys. But I'm sure as I move along here, I'll know more.
Your brother also played last year. Did you get Fabio into the game, or was he did independently, or he went on a deep run last year as well?
Yeah, he did. I finished 634th. I think he finished 417th, something along those lines. So, yeah, he learned on his own. He didn't read any books. He's way different type of player than I am. I'm more of a conservative guy and wait for my hand and be in good position, that kind of stuff. He's more of the aggressive type and bluff you all in on the river with air and stuff like that. So, but it works for him, you know. He had a ton of chips last year, and already this year after day one he's got 87K.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So is that's almost your driving force? It's like, okay, and he probably didn't let you forget about it the whole year that he outlasted you.
Well, it's
I'm
good
sure.
things we don't live in the same city, so
yeah.
I don't see him. I just talk to him on the phone once in a while.
Yeah.
Roberto Luongo is our guest down here representing PlayNow.com. Before we recap last year's event, there's downtime travel on the road as well, and obviously, we've heard one of the ways a lot of pro athletes pass that time is by playing cards. How frustrating is it as a serious player to play with the other guys on the team that just kind of goof around?
It's the worst. It's the worst. I don't even play poker on the flights anymore because,
really?
When you start with 20 chips and they want the game to be over in 20 minutes. It's like, this is blackjack. It's bingo. It's like, you know what I mean? They'll chase a one outer until the river. It's like there's no strategy at all. So
who's the worst?
Who's the worst?
Wow, they're all the worst in their own way. Like the twins like to chase everything.
Do they?
Burr and Kevin, they bluff all the time. It's just bad.
Did the twins play poker exactly like as well?
Yeah, very similar. Like they'll chase their flushes.
Their draws and everything.
Yeah, they will. I mean, Hank's a little bit more aggressive, but they like to bluff and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So.
Well, let's look back to last year's event, because you cashed and went on a deep run, made it into the deep into the fourth day, which is the people will. For those who don't understand, there are pros who play 6, 7, 8 years that do not cash in the main event. I know guys who've never cashed in the main event. Did it get the adrenaline going? Did it get the heart going like a NHL playoff game? Did it feel similar to something like that, or was it just like recreational? This is something I'm doing on my vacation.
No, I mean obviously I was nervous. I mean. It's a big deal for me to be playing in the main event. It's the biggest tournament of the year, so definitely the nerves and the adrenaline was going the whole time. This year, actually, I'm a bit more relaxed, I find, than last year, which is I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but we'll see. And I mean, it was just a dream come true. I didn't know what to expect coming in, and those are very very long days.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that I'm patient, because. I know that a lot of guys that I know and most of my teammates, I don't think they would be able to sit there for 12 hours and be folding, 95% of their hands.
Because there are other celebrities like TV stars and that will come and play in the main event, and they'll get it all in, halfway through the second level. And that was kind of fun to experience it, but to take it seriously. Paul Pierce made a big run in the 10K PLO event earlier in the week as well. Right, I mean, there are guys who really focus on it, and you're certainly in that category.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I take it seriously. I want to, go as far as I can. I'm not just here to enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but at the same time, I want to play the right way and the best of my abilities that I've learned.
Do you have a plan if you do make the October 9? This would cause some controversy, I would think.
Well, it wouldn't in my books.
No, of course.
I'd be coming to Vegas. So.
Exactly. He goes to Human Resources and he books a couple of days off.
Hey, whatever happens, happens.
Exactly.
Like even if they find me, I mean, it's still,
Did any of your teammates, after last year's run, you went deep, you cashed. Yeah. Did it spark an interest for anybody else to play in it, or not really?
Well, I mean, a lot of guys love to play. But I think, like you guys said before, it's more recreational, just for fun. I mean, a lot of guys, they tell me themselves, they don't have the patience to sit there for hours and hours and just, wait and wait. And, they don't. Yeah. They just want to play. They want to be in every hand. They want to, what I mean? So.
Bad beats, as somebody, obviously there's not as much luck in professional sports, but I mean, there are goals that go in off somebody's ass or it deflects off 4 sticks, and you can do everything you can and play it perfectly.
One a game for me, for me, so yeah.
So I mean, how's your ability to deal with that, in a sport where if you do all the preparation and everything right and put the time in, you can succeed. You can do the same in poker, and it all goes wrong based on the turn of a card. Exactly. How do you deal with that?
I don't. It's tough, man. I don't like it. Usually it's good to just try to forget about it as soon as you can. But yeah, it's frustrating. That's a frustrating part of the game. Unfortunately, that it's part of poker. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the bad beats.
Yeah. Do you get noticed a lot? Hockey obviously isn't as big down here in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mostly American field. I'm guessing that you don't always get noticed when you sit down and play, or is there always somebody who will point out and go, hey, who are you? You're.
Well, usually what I found is like when I sit down, maybe one or two people at the table know who I am. By the end of the day, everybody knows.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's the cameras are there or whatever. People are like, who is this guy? Like yesterday, somebody thought I was a professional poker player. I was like, not quite. Thank you.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps
So
one
thank you.
day.
But
Because it's different. Like if you meet a fan, you're maybe going to interact with them for 30 to 60 seconds.
Yeah.
If you meet a poker player
They're
at
there
your
for
table that's a
10
fan,
hours.
they're there for 10 hours.
Yeah, no,
So
exactly.
you end up becoming buddies with this guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I ended up talking to the two guys next to me the whole day, and they were great guys. So it's fun to be in a good table like that, where you get to meet people and you can have good conversation, because it is a long day, and if you're just folding your cards or listening to music all day, it gets pretty long.
Do you find people want to play hands with you that know you? Oh, I played a hand with Roberto and I put a beat on him or something like that. Do you get that?
It depends on the day. Yesterday, you guys won't believe this. I got 5 walks in the big blind.
Come on.
When the antes,
I got one.
I didn't see
got
any
one.
walks in my table.
Yeah.
When the antes were in play too.
No
5
way.
walks.
Wow.
The
The guy was your buddy beside you?
The button and the.
They took it. You're saying they took it easy on you.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
That they were even telling me. He's like, oh, usually I'd raise in this spot like
You're kidding.
And the button was a pro, is Perry Friedman.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He was in the
full tilt guy. Yeah.
he was on the button, and he was in raising my big blind.
Perry's a
Wow.
bit crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the
hand
senior
thing.
Winslow.
Yeah. There you go.
So you end the day yesterday with 55,600, the most of the three of us at the table here. Once again, off to a nice start. Other than the fact that you got a few gifts, talk a little bit about your day yesterday.
Well, it was a weird day. I mean, I started off really good. My last hand at the end of level 1, I in the big blind, I picked up 2 pair on the flop, and other guy flopped the bottom 2 pair. So I ended up winning a big pot there. I built up my stack to about 42K after the first break. So I was pretty happy about that. And next 3 levels, I just went really cold, and then nothing was happening. And when I wasn't hitting flops, nothing. So I ended up going all the way down to 26K. So I was getting a little bit nervous and a little bit frustrated. But in the last level, I started picking up a few hands, not big hands, but I was hitting and stealing some pots, and then I ended up winning about a 20K pot there towards the end to put me at over 55.
Tell us about that hand. How did that go down?
Well, I was in the big blind. I had picked up ace queen of hearts, and we got a limper in middle position, and then one of the late guys, I think the blinds were at 200, 400 at that point, and the late guy raised to 16 or 1700. So I really have to think about it if I wanted to play a hand to begin with, because
Out of position.
out of position, and if I start getting invested in a hand like that, I mean, I was going to be involved with almost half my stack, and ended up around 15K. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to play the hand at first, and I just said I'll just go see the flop. The flop came out with 5 of hearts, 3 of clubs, 2 of hearts.
So you straight draw and a flush draw.
Yeah, inside straight draw and a flush draw. So now I was like, oh shit, now I gotta play this hand.
Right.
I'm going through
I
now.
Yeah, so now I was like, ah, shit, I gotta play this hand. So at this point, I'm thinking either I'm gonna make a big hand, or I'll probably be close to out. So I checked. The other guy checks, and the original raiser bets 4,000.
Pretty big bet.
It's a big bet. So I thought about it again. I had no choice. Especially with the draw, the straight draw, it really ended 2 overcards. So I made the call, and the other guy folded, I believe. The turn came to 10 of hearts.
Jen.
There you go. Now on the flop, thoughts of just shipping it all in right there?
No, not at all. I still had a lot of play left with my chips. There was no point in making a play like that at that point.
If you miss the turn, you're going to check fold maybe. If it's like the 10 of spades, maybe.
If I missed the turn, I was going to check to see what he was going to do. If he was going to put in another between $3,000 to $5,000 bet, I probably would have called. If he would have been bigger, I probably would have folded, I think. So I checked, and he checked.
Wow.
So the river came out of blank. So at this point, I let out with an overbet of, I think it was between 85 to 9,000 chips.
To make it look like you're stealing.
Exactly, and he called. So
Nice.
that was it.
Pick up a big pot, get you up to.
No, but I took about 20K on that pot.
Nice.
Very nice. So you end the day with 56,000, which is well above average, and 110 big blinds. You don't even know what to do with that many chips.
I know, but for some reason, like it feels like it's not that many, right?
Yeah,
like
because you need 20 million to win the thing.
Exactly. You feel like you lose a few, small pots, or you lose a few thousand. Exactly. It's
and
crazy.
they're so hard to in this tournament. It's funny because it's just so easy to bleed the chips, and then it's just so hard to get them back.
You think you have a lot of time, but all of a sudden, it's great. You don't.
The days are grueling. I mean, compare because we got here at 11:30 to settle in. We were after you bag your chips and sign your name and everything. You're not out of there until about 1:30 in the morning. I mean, we're talking game one of the Dallas series back in 07 here with the 4 overtimes. It's for a physically fit athlete, it's still pretty fatiguing, eh?
It is tired mentally. I think, in the situation like a hockey game, you're moving, your body's moving, so you're not like tired like you want to go to sleep. You're just fatigued. In a situation like yesterday, you're tired like you want to go to sleep, like your energy levels is low. So I find it's most of the time, as soon as you get back from the dinner break, it kind of hits you a little bit. That's when I like to just crush a sugar-free Red Bull.
I was good. There you go.
And I'm good. And I'm good for the rest of the day.
So like when you let a goal in, when you lose a pot, do you go to the water bottle to say?
No, exactly. I got 2 bottles on my net. Like when I let in a goal, it's the Red Bull, or else it's just straight up water.
I was at that Dallas game that Mike talked about, the 4 overtime game. I was with my dad, and my dad was a little older at the time. He was fast asleep in his seat in like the 3rd overtime. There must be some great stories about guys who lost like 8 pounds in the game. That was an amazing. I remember the Washington game from years and years and years ago, that there was amazing stories about guys that were just completely dehydrated.
It was insane. I remember I think it was a play in the 4th overtime. It was probably halfway through the 4th. There was a wraparound, and I don't know how the guy didn't score. I just fell, and I had my leg against the post. I think my eyes were closed, and the guy was just jamming it, and I couldn't move, and the puck wasn't going in, and then I couldn't get up. I was just stuck there, and then puck skated away, and we ended up scoring a little bit later in overtime. But I just remember. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for those who don't remember, it's an NHL record for the most saves in a playoff game. 76 saves. I don't know what happened on that other one, but
yeah,
exactly.
What's the matter on that one? What a duel that was, though. That Marty Turco, I think, gets 3 shutouts and loses the series, and you outduel him. I mean, was that sort of do you think maybe in a 1 series stretch the most amazing hockey you've played in one go?
Well, it was a great series because every game was low scoring, and it was overtimes, and it was so tight. There was no blowouts or anything like that. So every game was just like, you know what I mean, 1 goal would have made a difference here or there. So as far as hockey wise and intensity and all that kind of stuff, it was probably one of the tightest, closest series as far as goaltending duels goes.
You mentioned early on when you started playing poker, you had a little bit of a trust issues with online play. You've had a relationship for a couple of years now with PlayNow.com, which is government regulated and run, affiliated with the BC Lottery Corporation, who run the brick and mortar live casinos in British Columbia, and they're affiliated with casinos in Quebec and Manitoba as well. Talk about your relationship with them and your comfort level with PlayNow.com.
Yeah, they've been the best. PlayNow.com, I think they approached me a couple years ago. They wanted to do something with me. Right away, I jumped on it because, obviously I love poker, and it gave me a chance to live out a dream to come to the main event 2 years in a row. So, I owe them a lot. They approached me for me to help them out.
Right.
But I think for me, I took it as the reverse. I mean, they've done so much for me over the last couple of years, so I can't thank them enough. And it's been great working with them.
Strombone1 on online poker, is that your handle, or is it something? Or do you not disclose it?
Well, on PlayNow.com it's Luongo1, just so people know that it's really me. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
And I noticed a Strombone poker account was launched, giving chip updates and that kind of thing. So we've got some hockey and we got some poker as well. You've become well known for your social media interaction, and you got a lot of fans with your witty comments on that. You obviously must see some of the replies that come back and the jokes that come back of we got the Borat references and this and that. There has to be a couple that
the
have
Count Chocula one.
That's with the Jimmy Fallon one. Yeah, there has to be some that have kind of cracked you up as well as you've entertained so many other people.
Every day there's people that have got great comebacks and replies and all that kind of stuff. Some not so great, some people
like Twitter. Yeah,
there's a couple of keyboard warriors that like to jump in there and give it to you, but that's part of Twitter, I guess. And it's been great. I've loved my experience on there so far. I think it's a great way for fans to see me how I am in the locker room with the guys, just joking around, making fun of myself, making fun of other guys. That's the way we act,
Yeah, you do seem really normal. Why are most other goalies so
crazy?
Not normal? What happens?
I don't know. The funny thing is, I think me and Schneids we're like the only two normal goalies that I've ever met. Other than that, everybody else is weird. Like, it's crazy.
So true. Now, speaking of PlayNow.com, we saw you last year. You didn't start every game, and they gave you an iPad on the bench at times.
Now, is there any sit and goes?
Turbo sit and go action going on? Little PlayNow.com.
I was on the screen behind, so
nobody'd see.
Yeah, Lane could see.
Multiple screens.
Yeah.
I figured that's probably what
Mike
what was happening.
He mentioned PlayNow's in Quebec as well. What a renaissance for poker in Quebec is going on. I mean, we've got some great players coming out of there. Jonathan Duhamel obviously won the main event.
Pascal Lefrancois, Jason Duval, Jonathan Roy, Marc-Andre Ladouceur, and Roberto Luongo. But so many great players coming out of Quebec these days.
I know. I don't know what it's due.
No, smoke meat.
And poutine, both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those cycles, I guess. For a while, it was a lot of European players and all that kind of stuff. So,
true, yeah.
You take it while you can. You take the recognition while you can.
Talking with Roberto Luongo, one of the things that most people who listen to this around the world will remember was your victory in the 2010 Olympic Games in your at least your home city for your NHL team, and and to be the first time Canada's ever won gold on home soil like that. Where does that rank in your memories? I mean, is it something that is top of the resume? And just quick thoughts on that experience.
I mean, there's really three highlights in my hockey career that I remember the most. Obviously, the gold medal game is right up there. You can't really beat that feeling. It's the Olympics.
Wow.
It's once in a lifetime opportunity, playing at home, especially in my hometown NHL
the
city.
Save on the late Pavel Dimitra in the semifinal game.
It's just crazy how everything just came together, in that tournament where Marty started off playing the first few games, and then I came in and all that kind of stuff. And it's funny because when I came in, I played my, I think it was Germany. I don't know, something inside me. I just turned over to my wife and friends and I said, this is just meant to be. I just felt it that we were going to win it. Like, if you asked me that once they scored the tying goal, I don't know if I would have given you the same answer, but it was just weird how everything came together to end up like that, on Sid's goal like that in overtime.
What was it like? I mean, here you're on a team of leaders. These guys are all captains in their team. When Parise ties it up there, 20 seconds left, you go into the room. What's the atmosphere like? I mean, there's so many leaders. Like I said, does somebody stand up? Does somebody kind of refocus people? What happens there?
First I think we're lucky that we did get an intermission and we didn't go into overtime right away. We got a chance to go back to the locker room and regroup, and it was pretty quiet when we got in there. I think everybody was a little bit upset about what happened. A few guys like Niedermeyer and I can't remember who else spoke up for us, said a few words. But I think when Babcock came in the room and really calmed the boys down and just said, hey, we're in the gold medal game, overtime in the Olympics. What more can you ask for? This is a dream come true, and somebody is going to be a hero in this locker room. So, you guys choose whoever you want it to be, and let's go do it. So,
do you watch the game at all? Do you ever watch the game again?
I've never watched the whole game.
No.
I've watched the overtime a few times. It's
chills,
just,
still chills when
sure.
Sid scores.
Definitely every time. I'm getting chills right now.
Me
Just
too.
talking about it. So,
Me too.
there you
You
go.
were at the rink.
Yeah.
I was at the.
You were at the.
I was at the Canada Hockey House, and
where
he
he
showed up
came-
with
yeah.
his daughter at the,
Yeah.
after that with the medal, which was pretty incredible. You were up late that night. Like you came over. There was
like
bands
2 in the
rocking
morning,
until
yeah.
like 2 in the morning.
Was it? I don't
Yeah.
remember. I
You
think,
just
you know what the
came
sad
over.
part is about that whole thing is like we didn't get a chance to enjoy it that night together.
right?
You know, like we stayed in the locker room for maybe an hour or two as a team and hung out, but afterwards, like guys were leaving. I mean, some
strange,
guys
yeah.
were playing the next night. I think Marty Brodeur was
That's
playing
right,
in Denver
yeah.
the next night. Like, guys were leaving right away, so we never really had a chance to like celebrate it as a team, which was a little bit disappointing. And the next summer, I think we had a little something in Edmonton where we got together and had a little party. But I mean, you know, it wasn't in the moment, so
Yeah.
it was a bit taken away from.
Your off-season home, Florida poker is also absolutely booming down there. There's a $10 million guaranteed tournament coming up next month in South Florida.
Is it? Where's it at?
I think it's I think it's at the Hard Rock. It's affiliated with the World Poker Tour. Matt
nice.
Savage is running it, and we got to get you into that the $10 million guaranteed
yeah.
in your own backyard.
Well, I'd love to play. I just got to find out the dates. And my brother's getting married next month in Montreal, so I don't know if I'll be.
We'll figure that. We'll figure that
I
out.
might
for you.
ask him to postpone it.
Yeah. So I mean,
have it in Florida.
Yeah.
You don't mind changing it.
Yeah.
but there are some guys that after they've finished their careers, the famous cricket player Shane Warne, Teddy Sheringham, the UK footballer, who have gone on to play regularly year after year after year. Do you feel that's something that might be in your future? I know you're still only half the way through a Hall of Fame career, but is it something that you think is a fad, or is it something you think is a lifelong hobby for you?
100%. I'll be there. I mean, I enjoy the game. I love it as much, if not more, than when I started playing it. And I just want to get better at it. And I want to, be as good as I can be. And I love playing. So for sure, I'll be playing as long as I live.
And when you have more time, when you're retired from hockey in many years from now, that you'll have more time to dedicate to it and play more games. You mentioned you like to play tournaments, not cash games as much. Is there a reason there? Have you tried the cash games?
I've tried the cash games online and at the casino. I don't know. I don't like it for some reason. I've never had success with it. I like tournaments. It's competition against other players.
Long-term goal, right?
Yeah,
It's more of a
outlasting guys.
Yeah.
You have you need a strategy because of the blinds going up and this and that, and I don't know. I just find I have much better success with tournaments, and I enjoy them more.
No Limit Hold'em. Have you tried PLO, or are you moving to mixed games? Anything like that? Have you tried them?
I've tried a little bit of Omaha. I mean, I enjoy it, but I mean, I don't know the strategies of the game and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think I'm going to stick to full Hold'em until I master the game, which will probably take me another 50 or 60 years, and then we'll move on.
Roberto Luongo, just great chatting with you. Coming down here representing Play Now, and it seems you're really enjoying the overall experience and having an absolute blast doing it. I mean, before we let you go, just any final thoughts on just your experience with Play Now? Because there's a lot of Vancouver guys who won seats on the site, got a chance to come down and meet you, and it's kind of been sort of a guys' weekend with a bunch of Vancouver guys.
Yeah.
It was there was a couple of get-togethers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been great. PlayNow.com, honestly, they've taken care of me so well the last couple of years. I can't thank them enough. My friend Jason here has been A+ with me. Both times that I've been in Vegas, whatever I needed, he's taking care of me, and I'm really grateful for that. And like you said, we had a meet and greet the other night, met a bunch of qualifiers and all that kind of stuff, and just had a blast. And it's funny because you think Vegas, nobody will know who you are, but I would just walk down the street, like 3/4 of the people, they're all from Vancouver. I find like everybody, oh yeah, I'm from Vancouver. Like, all right. So,
fair enough.
Ambush.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we always play intro music coming in each of the segments. I trust your Fratellis is what you would like us to play. Is that what you want to hear?
Something Italian, anything Italian.
Anything Italian. Excellent. So great to have you. Best of luck the rest of the way. This is a day off, so we know you want to spend it with your family. We will let you do that, and I will see you at the table tomorrow.
For sure. Thank you.